Welcome. In this video, we're going to go deep into Midjourney, all the way from the basics to prompting to the settings to even to Midjourney video. So let's begin. Midjourney is a paid tool, but it is the best image generation tool and also video generation, on par with VO3 as a video generation tool. So you get this very powerful all-in-one tool so that you can create any type of image or video using AI. For this example, I'm on the Pro plan. So just know that here's the Pro plan, here's the monthly price, the annual price. I want it because I want to generate unlimited images and videos. A lot of other tools give you tokens, but the real power of is create unlimited images and videos, because you're just going to rip through a bunch of variations to get to the optimal shot or image or video that you're looking for. So this is why having the limited in Midjourney makes so much more sense than trying to do any of the token usage in another tool. But one caveat is the 30 hours of fast GPU time for it actually rendering the images. I've actually burned through this already, so I'll be renewing that, but just be aware this is one limitation for how long it takes to actually render. And for all of these lessons, we'll be using the browser version of Midjourney and not the Discord. There's no need to use the Discord because the Midjourney one that you can access through any browser is already very powerful and easy to use. So to go over the layout, on the left hand side you have the Explore tab, which just shows you a library of people's prompts. Everything that you see has been created by some creator, so all of these are their files public. You could also choose to have your files private. I'll show you that in a little bit. So highly recommend. So just going over the layout, Explore tab, we can see, oh, I want to see random ones just to get some random inspiration. By clicking on the hot tab, you can see what is the hottest images and videos that people are creating as of today. You could go top by either day, week, or month, for example, here. And under likes, you can see any of them that you've liked before. And then you can filter everything either by show me images or videos on the right hand side, so you can filter it down. While we're here, it also has the ability to search in the upper right hand corner. So if I type motorcycle, then I can see all different types of motorcycle AI content. And then if I like any image, I can simply click on it. And on the right hand side, I could see the actual prompt that was used. This is really good to improve your prompt engineering skills, to see what it takes to actually get this image. Everything for every tool that you ever use is always going to come down to the skills of the prompt engineer. You can see the creator. So if we click on him, we can see all of their artwork. So you can follow like an artist, for example, right here. So that's him right there. This was created 12 weeks ago. You can click this to actually copy. And if you want to copy the prompt, the job ID, the image, or even the image URL, easy ways to copy. I do recommend doing the download button from here as well too. So it actually downloads instead of doing the right click and save image. Use the download button here. It actually downloads the full image. So if I just open this up, there's the full image in all its detail, which is super nice. Then you can see aspect ratio he was playing with. And then down below, you can use this image. You can use the image, the style, or the prompt. So if I use this image, notice that it takes this image and drops him up here. Now we could talk about the prompting bar. The prompting bar is always available no matter where you are inside of the app. So no matter where you are inside of the app, we're going to start very simple with, I'm just going to take this image right here and I want to use this text. Now I'm just going to take this image right here, and you could click and drag, either have it be the image. You could drag and drop it right here so it will reference that image. You can also move it over to reference that style. So if you like the style of it, or maybe there's elements from it that you want to use, or maybe Omni reference, basically if you want this character to look exactly like this character. So we're going to try all three. So I'm going to put it as here as an image prompt, and I'm going to say man in poster. I'm just going to keep it real simple just because I want to show you the image prompt, what it does with that. And I'm going to click submit. It's going to say, hey, do you want to personalize? Just say no, remind me later. Cool. And on the left hand side, you can see the create tab. Now something's in the oven, 0 out of 1. So it's now processing it. Here on the right hand side, you can see your entire library of images. And if you're on a Mac or use a mouse wheel, you can scroll down to kind of just go through all the images. See how the right hand side, it kind of pops out so you can see that. So this is in the Explore side. If I go to the Create tab, actually while we're here, let's click on this and let's move them into the Style and I'm just going to say man in poster, and then click submit. And then I'm going to take this and put this in Omni reference and just say man in poster and submit. So now we have 3 variations where we're taking the same image and we're dropping it in either for the image prompt, the style prompt, or Omni reference. Because this is where I want you to start with, is start from the Explore tab and try and find inspiration. You're like, man, I like this prompt. I like the style, I like the image, I like the way this looks. I want to create something similar. So now if we go over to the Create tab, now we can see that it's processing. So these were my last ones here. So you can just see, oh look, all I did was just say man in poster, use the reference image there, and it kinda did it, but not exactly. So see, this is why you want to do a bunch of variations. The more that you test, the more that you're going to get quicker to your ideal image or video. This looks actually, I really like these two. And so for this one, I think we used this one, which was this image that was used for this. And then you can also see the third one. So this is Omni reference, which was this one. This one, it kept it literally looking exactly like it, because Omni reference will match both the character exactly. So even changing it to a man, it was like, no, but the image is a woman, so that's why. But here, having it as the style reference, I think this matched it. And so you could always go back and take this and drop it in. The style is what got us here. Omni reference just literally made a character that literally looks almost like the original, as you can see here. So that's how you can see that Omni reference keeps the character consistent. And then you can see style, which is this level right here. So you can see like this one was the closest for what we're looking for, which came from the style reference. And then down here, these guys came from the image prompt. So even though we said man on a poster, it's kinda like it, but not close enough. So those are the 3 different versions that you could get some reference image for inspiration to start an image. Now the next thing is, hey, wait a minute, I want to actually take this one and I could drop it in style reference, and here now that I have a style reference, I'm just going to say man on motorcycle, and if I click these settings, now we can see some additional settings that we can play with. So from here I could change the aspect ratio, 3:4, square, landscape. This is like YouTube, this is just square like Facebook, and this is just portrait like also Instagram. The mode, do you want it standard or raw? And let's actually play with some of these. So the mode right here, this is going to be raw mode, replaces the default aesthetic of some Midjourney model versions. Using it can help you create a more photorealistic image and cinematic scenes. So for this, we're going to do one for standard. I'm going to do man on motorcycle and click run. And then I'm going to take the same thing, put in style, and we're going to drop it, and we're going to choose raw, so that now we have both. And then you can see here, style here, one was standard, one was raw. We can see here, this is the standard one, and this is the raw one. The prompt was exactly the same. Very interesting. Cool. So notice how raw made photos that look much more realistic. If I zoom in, these do look semi-real. Not exactly real, but they do look realistic. So raw versus this, which is standard, which had a little more creative output here. So that's the difference between when we go and we look at the standard, which is just, hey, it could go artistic, or just raw, which is basically like how close to real life do you want? More realistic. Just choose version 7, keep it simple. So the first one we're going to talk about is stylization. Now it defaults at 100, and it could go all the way up to 1,000. So what stylization does is it controls how artsy or decorative the image looks, and we'll test it out with 2 options right here. So the higher stylization, this is more abstract, expressive, painterly, where the low is more accurate to the prompt, less artsy. You're telling the system to stick closer to what I just described. So more what I described, or a little more creative freedom. And let's test this out. So I'm going to take our same prompt here, use style, and I'm going to use the same man on motorcycle, and I'm just going to do the settings. And this one is going to take the same style, but we're just going to crank the stylization to 0. So this one is stylization to 0, and we're going to rock the same thing. So the only variable that changes is stylization to 1,000. It's the only difference between these 2 right here. Stylization 0, you can see right here, and stylization 1000, using the same prompt and the same reference image. Very interesting. Check this out. So stylization here, it went pretty abstract, although there are more real people on it. The bikes do look real. Sometimes the people are not all there. That bike's missing, so nothing perfect there. And then when we went with Stylization 1000, we cranked it all the way to the right. Look, man on motorcycle, much more realistic. Almost looks like a real photo. Very interesting. This one's like most creative. So this is the more abstract, more expressive, more painterly, and this one is less arts. This one's less artsy. So you're trying to just say, hey, stick to literally a man on the motorcycle. Where this one, it got a little more creative with like the poses and the motorcycles kind of in frame here. So that's the difference between Stylization. I'm going to crank it to 100. And now let's do Weirdness. So Weirdness is the adjust how unusual or unexpected the image gets. So higher Weirdness, which goes up to like 3000, it's more strange, dreamlike, and surreal output. If we crank it down to 0, if your setting's low, that means you want something more normal or grounded. So we're going to keep Stylization the same. We're going to take our same experiment, and we're going to crank this one, Weirdness, to 0. And we're going to click also standard. Let's go there too. So standard, and I want landscape. Cool. And I'm just going to say man on motorcycle, render. Cool. And the only difference that we're going to do for the next one, style reference and paste. And the setting here, we're going to crank Weirdness to 3000. It's the only difference. Everything else is the same between this. So here you can see Weirdness is 0, and here you can say Weirdness is 3000. So let's see what we get from here. All right, so remember, when it's at 0 for Weirdness, means all the way to the left, this is where you want something normal and grounded. And we can see, yeah, these all look normal and grounded. And you can notice that's always outputting 4 variations. Nice. But then when we took Weirdness, notice here Weirdness 3000, and we cranked it all the way, now we're a little dreamy. We're missing some pieces there. We're very artsy. We've got a galaxy in the background. We are now a pizza delivery man. So it gets really creative. So that's where we said from here, Weirdness, super creative and artsy, and left, hey, keep it strict to what I prompt. So that's Weirdness. If we go out and we go to variety, the next one, variety, right here. So this changes how different each result looks, even if you run the same prompt. So the higher the variety, the more range in the results. So that's the result option 1 to option 2. There could be a huge difference, or do you want them to coherently roughly stay the same? And then low is more consistent outputs, meaning they'll all look very similar. So let's test this out using the same prompt. I'm going to take the same prompt, Stylization here, man on motorcycle. We're going to take variety and keep it at 0. Everything else is the same. Landscape looks good. And then let's run the same exact thing, just drag and drop. And we're going to take variety here as the only change we're doing is cranking variety all the way to the right. Everything else is the same. And now we're going to say, notice how variety went chaos 100. So variety met chaos inside, so we can see how wild did it get. And that's like right here, variety is actually chaos. Yeah, you can see, notice how to the right of it, where it says variety chaos, Weirdness is dash dash weird in the right hand corner of the little card. Stylization is dash dash stylize. Those are if you're like using, oh wow, Discord, for example. So here, notice how chaos or variety, this is chaos or variety, when it's at 0, they all coherently look the same, roughly. So same. But when you crank chaos to 100, oh, we went wild here. And then we teleport in another scene. I don't even know what's going on here. I don't even know what's going on here. And then next one, oh, there's a lot of chaos going on. Like how you may want that. You may want to go like super creative, super random. So that's So that's variety right there. We're going to keep that as 0. I like to have a little variety, a little spice right there. Now the options here for speed. If it's on relax, generates at a slower variable rate, but won't spend fast hours. So this is great. And then if you're on fast, now fast is the default speed. It generates at a moderate rate and spends fast hours. So you do accrue fast hours. Just know that, remember, you do have 30 fast hours under the Pro plan. Standard's 15, basic plan is 3.3. You can upgrade to get more of these. Just be aware of that. And then Turbo's like, yo, I need this now, basically. And so, but these will burn twice as much of the fast, so just be aware of that. Now, lastly, stealth. Stealth does is basically all the images that I've been creating in the Create tab. This is basically my portfolio. This is what people can see, basically. So if I want to generate images and have these images in my profile not public so people can't see, for example, so that's where stealth on means I could only view these images in my accounts, whereas the Explore tab, these are images that people have created and they're public. So that's with stealth off right here. You may want that, for example. So enable this setting to prevent your images from being visible to others in the Explore feed or to your personal gallery. The last thing to do is to generate images, the videos. So for example, as you're going through, and I'm just going to pick any scene here, I'm just going to pick this one. I like this one. And when you click on an image, you can do different options to vary the image. You can make some subtle changes like, hey, go make, and see when you click on it, it renders. Now you can see here how I've already burned all my fast hours. That's fine. So basically, since I click right here, it will automatically add in the queue and create right here, but I don't have any fast. Hold on. Also, you can see here in my settings, I've been using it for like video generation a lot. So I've already burned through my 30 fast hours basically. So I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna select, just give me 2 hours and click continue, purchase. Great, now I have 2 additional hours of fast hours. And this is all in my account in the bottom left-hand corner. So now when I go to create and I click on any video like this video again, and I wanna vary this, click on this, it adds it into the queue and it's going to create a variation of it. And then if I go down, if I want to upscale it, I can upscale. I could run more of them, more of the same, or edit the original prompt as well too. This is also where you can do some quick video animations. So what these buttons do is auto mode on low motion, it will add subtle small movements like a gentle camera pan or a slight motion blur. If you go high motion, right here under auto mode, then it's going to add more noticeable movement like a zoom in, zoom out, sweeping the camera, or rotating parts of the camera, for example. So use the auto if you just want something fast and simple. Then on the manual right here, it also has low and high motion. The difference is you actually get more control. So you can click on low motion. So here you have the ability to add your image to folders. Folders are in the upper right hand corner. I'm just going to open a new tab just so I could click on folders right here. And then you can see this pop out. I'm going to click a new folder. I'm going to call this motorcycle. And now I have a folder for motorcycles. I get 3 dots. I can rename it or delete it. And then if I go back to my image, just quick refresh, then I could save this in my motorcycle project folder. And then when I go back here, I can see motorcycles. And when I click on it, I can see there's only one image in this folder right here. So I could go back, and if I want to just add another one, so just real quickly, I'm just going to find this video one, for example. Say this video, I'm like, yeah, this looks good. I can add this to my folder, motorcycle. And then when I go to my motorcycle folder, now you can see I have 2 images. Really cool. So folders are really helpful to stay organized, and you can see them in the upper right hand corner from here, where you can create more folders. And now back to the create tab over here, we can see that it did a variation on the man in the, so you can see the original, but it did different variations, different with the hoodies, not bad. Here you can say it upscaled it, so just made it larger. Very nice. Now you can see the video. Remember, we did low action, then we did much higher action. So this is motion high, this is motion low. And as you hover over, it's going to play all 4 at the same time. And then again, you could click on it, and if you like it, you could go ahead and just add it to your folder. Wow. Or you could just download it as a video. I recommend downloading the video so that if you're working, especially if you're working on a project right now, like you're like, yo, I want to create 5 videos out of it. This is where you want to just download the image and save them to your download folder so you can start compiling these video clips together in like CapCut. I'll show you a little bit of that. So I'm just going to take this one too, download, go back, and I'm going to scroll down and I'll just click on and just download this one. Real simple. So just downloading 3 videos. Cool. So now we generated images in a certain style, and just by using one of these buttons down here, turn it into a video. You can also describe the video by dragging that reference image up here to start frame. And now you can say taking off into the sunset and just render that. So now you could drag that image, because what it's going to do is going to start a new video based on that starting frame, for example. So if we go to create, right now it's going to create that tab right there, use that image, and it's going to reference something. By the way, it really helps when, say, you're on the create tab and you just click on an image. I'm using the trackpad on a Mac, so using the mouse wheel up and down, you can use the mouse wheel or the trackpad. That really helps just cycling through the different images that are on the right hand side, because your entire library is technically on the right hand side. It's just a zoomed in version. So now, oh nice, look at this. So we said taking off into the sunset. So now I took those videos and said, oh, it added a sunset. So it took that as the first frame. Remember, all we did was say, this is the starting frame, and we described the action taking off into the sunset, and he's now taking off into the sunset. So it starts with that frame and goes off. If we scroll up, we'll get another variation of it. And again, this is why the unlimited rendering is really helpful, because it may take 2 or 3 prompts to dial in, because it's not going to be perfect. That's the main thing, is that it's always going to be a little bit funky. You're going to always going to add, reprompt it, and try again. But that's why using Midjourney, the unlimited plan, allows you to generate a bunch of versions until you're happy with the one that you like. You're like, yep, I like this one. This is the one I like. Download. Done. And that's how you generate. And then while we're here under the create tab, you can hover over an image, for example, and you could click one button and animate it just quickly from here, instead of like going in and actually clicking on these. And then you could also make another version that's subtle change, or make me another variation but that's has a strong change. And we'll check those out real quick. So we can see here we clicked on the variation. So you can see the first one we clicked and said, hey, turn this frame or image into a video. So that's what it's going to do. This one, we did the variation of it. This is a subtle variation. So notice how there's a very subtle from the raw bottom one here, very subtle. And then top, we're like, hey, make a huge variation. And notice how, oh, it looks way somewhat similar, but way different. And that's by using, if you hover over images. So if you hover over image, that's the difference between subtle variations or very strong variations. So subtle here and strong variations. And that's enough with Midjourney to keep you dangerous. To go and generate some images and turn those into videos, you now know most of the basic features from it. In the next course, I'm going to show you how to create a commercial ad using Midjourney. So how to do video production with it so that you can use it for an ad campaign or promotional content for your product, your business, or your service. So look for that in the next course. If you want to level up your AI skills, I highly recommend joining the AI community. We have live classes every week on AI, how to use AI in your business, 24 of the best AI tools and deep dive courses, and also tech support, 5 days a week of live events, networking with other AI entrepreneurs, and you could earn AI certificates. It's the best place to stay up to date with AI and actually be part of a global community of entrepreneurs leveraging AI to work less and earn more. Click the link below to start your free 7-day trial.